So Stephen A. Smith says this.
Kamala Harris thing. I am going to tell y'all right now, I'm on the verge one of these days real soon of blowing a gasket. If I see that lady, figuratively speaking, in our face one more time talking about she told us so, it's pissing me off.
If he hears the vice president, a former vice president, tell us that she was right over and over again, he'll blow a gasket. Chris Christie in Conversations has talked about going to Donald Trump's country club in New Jersey and hearing Trump say this.
Called me on one late Saturday afternoon in 2018 and said, "What are you doing tonight?" "I don't have any plans." And he said, "Look, Melania's away for the weekend with Barron." He goes, "I really don't want to eat dinner by myself. Come and have dinner with me." So we went up to Bedminster and had dinner with him. And he was talking to my wife and he looked at her and said, "Remember something, Mary Pat, if you say something enough times, it becomes the truth, whether it's true or not." When I say shamelessness, he looked at my wife and said, "Whether it's true or not, if I say it enough times, it becomes true."
Trump repeats lies over and over again. The election was stolen. Not only is he saying it, but he's using the power of the presidency to seize voting records in both Arizona and Georgia and to try to forward the notion of a lie. But he knows if he says it over and over again, you will do it. Remember the lie about there'll be no new wars? Remember about the lie about how groceries are going to go down? Remember the lies how wars will end? Remember all those lies? He says them over and over again. It's ironic that Kamala Harris told us what was true, and that truth is manifested its way in our lives every single day. There's not a thing you can point to that she said that she was wrong about. Donald Trump lies to us on a daily basis, every day. And those lies are in our lives every day. The groceries are not down. Gas is not lower. There are several new wars. He's had military action in California, in Illinois, in Minneapolis, in Vermont, in D.C., in Yemen, in Nigeria, in Iran, in Venezuela, in Syria. I think it's ironic that Stephen A. Smith is more angered by a black woman's truth than a white man's lies.
You know what I look forward to? I look forward to one day not having to hear DL Hughley cape for Kamala Harris or the Democratic Party. I look forward to a time when DL Hughley goes back to telling the joke, you know, the one like rinse around and rinse it off. Or the one about the wash rag on the nightstand. You know, DL has so many great jokes. As DL Hughley was listing all the reasons, all the wars that Donald Trump has gotten us into, I thought maybe he was having a brain fart for a moment because they sounded just like all the same places that Obama bombed. It was sounding like the Obama greatest hits. Yemen, Syria. That's what it sounded like. But it was funny because DL not only didn't have a problem with those bombings when Obama was in office, he wrote a book praising them. Yeah, man, I'm not going to sit here and defend Trump when he makes up whoppers. In fact, I called him out about a whopper recently because I'm not DL Hughley. I will call out Republicans and Democrats, something he will never do. I'm not going to defend Trump on any lies he tells. Why would I defend lies? But unlike DL, I remember lies that were being told. Here goes a few off the top of my head that Obama told. Feel free to tell your friends about these. They've been fact-checked by PolitiFact and factcheck.org. One, we don't need that for because everybody black that has an internet connection who's over the age of, I don't know, maybe 30, knows about Flint water. And they know how Obama went down to Flint and lied to every black person in America, at least in America, maybe in the world, when he said there was nothing wrong with the water and you could drink it. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed or not, DL, but that was a deadly lie that he told to us in our community, to poor, vulnerable people, when he went down there to cape for not even a Democrat white governor, but a Republican white governor. That's one. How about, here goes two. Here goes another one. How about the Affordable Care Act? That wasn't affordable at all. That was a lie. That shit was high. In fact, the Affordable Care Act ended up being so high for people couldn't afford to get it. And then they couldn't afford it, so they ended up having to pay a penalty at the end of the year because they couldn't afford to keep the insurance that was mandated that you had to keep. In fact, PolitiFact named that you can keep your health insurance. They named that the lie of the year for 2013 due to the expansive, the whopper size lie that it was. That it was on a scale of millions of people being lied to about their everyday lives.
Ben, looking back at the year, I'd like to ask you what your reaction was to the nonpartisan truth-telling group, PolitiFact, when it said that the lie of the year was your statement that if you like your health care plan, you can keep it.
A president saying, I'm going to bring down the cost of chicken, ain't the same thing as a president saying you can keep your health coverage. What the hell? Let me give you another one. How about the Benghazi attack? Republicans talked a whole lot about this. They were really upset. I think it was a rule that no Democrats could bring it up. But there were people that died during the Benghazi attacks. Remember Stevens? Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 others were murdered. And then Obama lied and said it was due to some YouTube video. But instead what it was Al-Qaeda. But it was an election time, and he didn't want to make it look like we were vulnerable or that he made bad decisions, so he lied.
That's the one thing you can't lie about. You can gaslight the American people all you want, but the grocery store tells a different thing. Like, I don't need a speech. Hamburgers are $10 a pound.
He lied about the cause or the impetus behind the attack on the embassy. You wrote a book, you didn't even talk about it. Of course you wouldn't. He just talked about how great it was we had a Kenyan president, a Kenyan American president.
I am proud to be the first American president to come to Kenya. And of course, I'm the first Kenyan American to be president of the United States.
Yeah, let's go for 5, because we know Trump lies all the time. But see, here's the thing about Trump's lies. Most of them are stupid. This is that stupid lie. You know what Obama lied about? He lied about having his Department of Justice target Republican organizations. Yeah. He used his government, he weaponized government to audit organizations that had the name Tea Party or anything equivalent in the title of their companies. This is against the law. This is called weaponizing the government. This is the same thing you're accusing Trump of doing. Remember, everything I'm listing here is from Fact Check or PolitiFact. There are many more. In fact, back when Obama was running for re-election, they put up like 50 lies that Obama told. But since some of them could be contested because that's partisan, I wanted to go with a list of things that were by an independent fact checker. So the IRS thing stands up. Obama lied. Last but not least, here goes one that was a pain in the ass. He wanted women to vote more for the Democrats. So he lied and pandered to women, saying that for every dollar a man makes, a woman makes 77 cents. That was bullshit. You know what? It did not consider that some of the jobs that made men make more money an hour were jobs women didn't want to do. Yeah, so there's disparities in what we make an hour. May not be because of sexism, but it's also because of occupational choices. He got 4 Pinocchios from the Washington Post fact checker, a very liberal newspaper here, a paper of note of the public record. So those are his 5 whoppers that Obama told. And see, look, man, I'm not expecting a president to be walking on water. You know what I'm saying? But time and time again, you guys like using lies about Trump that somebody told you. Who gives a shit what Chris Crispy says? He don't need to be out at dinner at all. He need to be home eating a salad and drinking a gallon of water. That's what he needs to be doing. The fact he would go out with a guy who just said all the horrible shit that Trump said about him makes him a person without any backbone. Why would I want to listen to him? He was kissing Trump's ass after Trump kicked his ass. You can't make this stuff up. And that's your source? I'm not absolving, I'm not defending Trump's lies, by the way. Not at all. I'm sure those who are progressives or Democrats are trying to say that. Not at all. I'm not here to defend Trump. I'm here to go after Democrats. That's sort of my job. I've anointed myself the person that calls out the Democrats because not enough black people that are not Republicans are willing to go after Democrats for the bullshit they do. They'd rather stay out of it because they know the opportunities go away and people won't return your calls and everybody's so sensitive. Here's the deal. Both parties are horrible. Anyone who can't see the problem, my main problem, are both these parties are corrupt and owned by corporations and owned by special interests. My problem with you, DL Hughley, you're supposed to be a comedian. You're supposed to be a fighter for the people. You're supposed to be a truth teller. And the only truth you ever tell is about how bad Trump is and how great Kamala is. Kamala ain't so great. Okay? In fact, she sucks. You may not like Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith was much better at his job than Kamala was at hers. How many, you know what, I didn't run in 2020, and me and Kamala Harris got the same amount of electoral votes. How about that? That's a good joke. And I didn't spend $1 billion to get it. Next. Boy, that was a sear right there, boy. I was cooking right there, boy. I lost some friends and gained some new ones. Churner, baby, churner, baby, churner, baby.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.